Arcadians, to another arcade to console video. And this week, guys, we've got the awesome Jackal by Konami. Now, this game, I've only had it in my collection for about 3 months, but because of lockdown, I've only had it going for about a month because it was at my mate's house being repaired. Got it going. It's a lovely little cabinet, this electrical and MIDI, made in London. And I found this on eBay for 175 quid with the game Jackal, which I knew nothing about whatsoever. No nostalgia for the game, don't remember it back in the day. Don't even remember it on any consoles, to be honest with you. So I was quite intrigued to see how it played. And I was pleasantly surprised, actually. It's a really good game. It takes a lot from Commander. I think the developer took a lot from that game. So it's a vertical shooter going up the screen, but this time you take control of a Jeep. A British Jeep called Jackal. Yes, they're made in England, Hollington. Great little bit of kit. Gets right in the action. Armed with a machine gun and a grenade. You can get in there to rescue all the hostages. And that is basically the object of the game. To see how far you can get and to maximise your points by picking up as many hostages as you can. It's an 8-way game. 8-way stick and 2 buttons. So you've got machine gun and grenade. Now, you can pick up the hostages, and one of the hostages will give you an upgrade. And if your Jeep is full up with hostages and you can't pick up that hostage with the power-up, you're going to miss out. So you've got to work out exactly where that hostage is to get that power-up, because it is essential. The rocket launcher is so much faster and much more direct, especially in later screens where you've got to take out tanks and other Jeeps with grenades and stuff like that. So it's a really good game, but you've got to take it at your own pace. Well, you can take it at your own pace. You've got to be very methodical about the game. It's no good just flying up the screen trying to finish the game as quickly as possible. You've got to take each little step at a time, sussing everything out. Blow up the buildings, release the hostages, go and pick them up. Make sure it's safe around you to pick them up, then carry on moving up the screen. And say there's no levels as such. You're just constantly scrolling up the screen. So there's no end of level bosses or anything like that. It's got good music. The music apparently changes halfway up. I haven't got that far yet to notice it. Good explosions, great sprites. And I think it's a really good game. It came out in America, funny enough, in 1986. And they changed the name from Jackal to Top Gunner. Probably after the film was released, Top Gun. So they thought they'd kind of rinse a bit of money off the film by changing the name. They thought it'd do better, basically. But it's not a great name, is it? Top Gunner. Jackal's a much better name, much more memorable name. And it's also named after a British Jeep, which is even cooler. But it's funny enough, when we look at the NES version, which we're going to do, because obviously we did an arcade to console, they changed the name back to Jackal for the North American NES release, which is really odd. But it's a really cool game. The funny thing is as well, it came out as a kit. They did have a kit for this, and it came with rotary sticks, and I can see that working very well, actually, because the Japanese ROMs, which is what I'm playing, lets you shoot in a direction that your Jeep is facing. But the North American ROMs, European ROMs, they changed that. So whichever way your Jeep is facing, you'll always shoot upwards. Which is a bit odd, really, isn't it? A Jeep wouldn't do that. Or a guy on the back with a machine gun wouldn't just keep facing the same direction. But some people say it's easier because of that. I don't know. I haven't played the European ROMs. But what I can say is I'm not having any trouble or any difficulties with the Japanese ROMs because of it. Okay, my scores are not as good as some of my mates, but I don't think I've sunk enough time into this game yet. So hopefully in this run now today, I'd like to beat my score, which is about 180,000. But we'll have to wait and see. So without further ado, guys, let's have a look at Konami's Jackal on this original PCB, and then we're going to look at the NES version that came out in North America. It came out in Japan as well, but it only came out on the Famicom disc system. We'll have a look at that as well. So let's turn the camera around, guys, and play a bit of Jackal. Right, let's fire up, guys. See how we get on. Start on the beach. I think on Top Gunner, So he's got the number 1 represented on the top of the Jeep there. I think you get an American flag. So we've got machine gun and we've got grenades, which are used to blow up those big heavy guns, blow up the huts. Pick up him, got 1,000 points, and I've got my power up now straight away. It's essential to get that straight away in the game. Blow up those and just take your time, gradually moving up the screen. And you've also got to watch out for the explosions. Even though I've blown that up, you get a secondary explosion which can actually blow you up as well, which you forget all about, especially with the tanks that you blow up. So I'm going to pick up my hostages. On to the next one. Now the area is clear. I'm full. Can take a maximum of 8 hostages. Take them out, run them over. These are the hard ones to get, the tanks. Oh, see? Yes. And see that secondary explosion? See, if my Jeep was on top of that, I'd be dead meat. And now you can see the helicopter pad in the distance. That's where I've got to get to. I can't pick him up because I'm full. What I should have done was come back for him. Offload these guys as quickly as possible. Without getting shot. Now I lost my bonus because he was going to shoot me, I would have died. And I just missed that, so I lost out on a big bonus there, guys. I'll have to come back and try that again. Because normally I'm up to about 50,000. But we'll play on through. First go. Got cornered there. I've lost my missiles now. Got my missiles back. There's a slight delay. We're firing the next missile, so don't leave yourself short like I just did there. You've got to fire at exactly the right time. Not doing so great. I'm going too fast. I've got to take my time. I'm not taking my time here. See? Secondary explosion blew me up. Wait for him to come down here. Got him. Wait. Grenade. Yes. Move up. Tank waiting for me. He's not coming out, is he? Grenade him. We're now full. Forgot about the buildings blowing up. coming down on me. Right, there's a landing pad. Can he make it? It's a landing pad. I'm full. I want to take out this guy first. Take out these so the area's clear. Now drop the hostages off. Do I get that big bonus? Yes, 79,000. Is there any more hostages around here? You got to walk out. Look out for those jackals with the grenades. Deadly. They're really quick as well. It's not a bad run, but it's not my top score. Oh yes, secondary explosion blew the other one up. Not a bad run, guys, but I didn't get that big bonus right at the beginning of the game, which is a shame. I'm going to be full in a minute. Now I'm full. Here he comes. Got him. He's out of the way. 100,000, guys. Got to be careful here. Rolling rocks. Right, here's the helipad. Can he do it? Take out these guys first. Oh, yes. Let's just... he blew up, so I've lost all my hostages. Got to quickly pick them all up before they run away. Right, now drop them off. Does he get his big bonus? Come on. Here he comes. Got to get out of there quick. Not such a big bonus. Oh, let's pick these hostages up. It's a good run, guys. It's a really good run. Oh, the tank got me right at the end. That was a good run, guys. That really was. 116,000. Let's put my name in. $116,000. Not my best, but that's a good run, and I'm happy with that for the video. Well, there you go, guys. That was my run at the arcade version of Jackal. What did you think? You reckon you could do better than that? Well, let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to know how you got on. Also, any nostalgic stories you have of playing the game, because I've got absolutely zero memory of this game. But I'm so happy to have it in the collection. Definitely going to stay. And I want to beat my last score, which was 180,000. That run I did wasn't bad. It was fine for the video, but you could see where I went wrong. Just panicking a little bit and blowing out some of the buildings a little bit too early. As soon as you see that helicopter pad, stop blowing buildings up. Go back, have a look at what you got, how many hostages you've got. If you've got 8 hostages, go and offload them before you start blowing anything else up, because if you blow up another building, the hostages will get released and they'll bugger off. You don't want that to happen. You want to go back, blow the building up, then pick them up to maximise your points, really. Yeah, there's a couple of manoeuvres I did there. Like I turned too quickly and that tank got me. But again, it's just really memorising all the levels. There's no levels as such, but just memorising where everything is, and you will progress and get better and better at it. And I think there's an enjoyable game there, if you like that kind of pace for the game. But guys, if you don't have the arcade version, you can get the NES version, which I totally recommend playing. This is the North American version, which came out as Jackal. As I said, they changed the name back to what it should be. I don't know why. Maybe it was something to do with there was a Top Gun game on the NES and they didn't want to be confused with Top Gunner, Top Gun. So change it back to Jackal. But I think that's where it should be, really. It's such a cool name. Nice box art, guys. Look at that, with the Jeep on the front. A couple of screenshots on the back. It took me ages to find this game. And in the end, I ended up importing it from America. I got really impatient, waiting for one to turn up. But you can get the NES version. Sorry, the Famicom disc version. But it didn't come out in Japan as a cart. And it didn't come out in Europe as a cart. So the only option is North American or Famicom disc version. Nice cart art. And get a lovely little manual with it. This manual is really cool because shows you all the generals, all the Jackal drivers, 4 wild Jackals. It's got some screenshots. And it's got some sort of end of level bosses, which I'm very interested to see. So I think this game's going to play completely different than the arcade version. Obviously, we're playing it horizontally as well, whereas the arcade is vertical. So it will be really interesting to see how this plays. But it's nice to have this on the console. I do believe it probably did come out on the Commodore 64, the Sinclair Spectrum. I don't know those versions at all, but if you have got the Commodore or Sinclair Spectrum versions, I'd love to hear what you think of the game. But for now, we're sticking with this. So without further ado, guys, let's pop this cart in and see how it plays on the NES. Right, here we go, guys. Jackal on the NES. 1988, this came out 2 years after the arcade release. Your brothers in arms are hostages behind enemy lines, and you're their only hope for freedom. But they're oh, that was didn't even give me time to read that. You see, my PCB's got a bit of a glitch here. I've tried cleaning the cart, but probably needs a little bit more than just that. A little bit of cart surgery. 2 players as well, by the looks of it, simultaneously, hopefully. Here we go. Nice start. Right, so we're firing directly forward like the European versions of Jackal, not the Japanese ROM that I was playing on my arcade machine. And we've got the music. Got the guys we can run over. Grenades. Let's pick up the hostages. Moves quite smoothly. Whoa. Well, got stuck behind a tree, those dreaded trees. Had all that trouble in Commando. There we go, get rid of him. And obviously this is horizontal, not vertical like the arcade version. So you get a bit more width-wise. Oh, I can't get him there. Oh, that was close. That's weird not being able to fire downwards. Got hostages. Come on, get in. Doesn't show you how many hostages you're holding, which is a problem, because if it's like the arcade version, we won't be able to pick up the bonuses. Or maybe there's an infinite amount of hostages we can pick up. By the looks of it, there is. Okay. Massive bonuses, hopefully then. So the level layout's slightly different. So I would have had, before this bridge, a hostage drop-off area. Whoa. Oh, was that worth getting? See, there was a tank at the end of the bridge in the arcade version. That is missing. Don't expect it to be exactly the same. And in fact, the console version usually expects a little bit more, right? Because they could. They're not looking for your money. They've already had your money when you bought the cart, so they can add that little bit more to the game, to the console version. Ah, I was going to get hit there. Can I pick up hostages? Yeah. Come here. Got them all back. Oh, this is difficult. Not used to just firing upwards straight ahead. I think I do find it easier on the Jack version. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something I've got used to. I think rotary sticks would actually work really well with this game. I haven't seen any pictures of rotary sticks, the actual kit that came with this game, which would be nice to see. Right, so here's the dropping point. Let's just get rid of these first. Don't want them firing at me while I'm dropping my hostages off. There's one up here. So I've got infinite amount of hostages I can pick up in that Jeep, which is a bit weird. Right, let's drop them all off. That's it. Don't get any bonuses for, you know, picking up all of the hostages in one go, which is a bit weird. Alright, what's this? End the level boss? Yep, tank. Oh, not easy. Whoa. Ah, that wasn't easy. Whoa! Yes, he done it. Lost a life, but he done it in the end. Here. So, okay, so the levels are in segments. In the arcade version, just constantly scrolling up the screen. So that's level 1 done. You don't get those secondary explosions either, which is good. I'm really enjoying this. It's a good little game on the NES. Oh, died there. 2 lives left. Let's get that bonus, do we? Come on in, get in. Off we go again. Obviously it's not as thrilling as the arcade version. Although it's quite a methodical game, it's still quite on the edge of seat stuff. I find this is a little bit slower. Not as exciting as the arcade version. But it's true to the game, man. It's really cool. Up here. I'm interested to see what all the end of the level bosses are. Bit of a maze going on here. Whoa. I mean, they're so easy just to run over those guys. Oh! Would have died on the arcade version there, easily, from that second explosion. Oh, we've got planes bombing me. I hate these jeeps. I'm just going to run past them. So we've got statues firing at us now. Last life by the looks of it. Don't blow up. Just gonna leg it. End the level boss, guys. Where is he? Oh, what? It's the statues. I've got black statues. Ah, we got homing missiles. What the hell? What? How am I supposed to escape them? Oh, you're having a laugh. This is rock hard. Just going to stand here firing. Is he dead? Oh no, you've got to knock him. Ah! Is that it? Oh, guys. That was pretty cool, though. Well, there you go. There's my run on the NES version. I could have continued and got a lot further, but could have gone on forever, to be honest with you. It's quite a slow-paced game compared to the arcade version. And you'd expect that, right? Because the hardware's not as good. But, you know, back in the day, if I'd gone down the arcade, played Jackal, and come back home and had the NES version, I'd been well chuffed. Because I think it's actually a really good port. Obviously, it's horizontal. It takes a little bit of getting used to because there's a little bit more to explore to the left and to the right. The end of level bosses, I think it's a nice touch. And I think it's good that they do that with the console versions, add a little bit more. Because graphically, they can't match the arcade version, but they can add a little bit in terms of hidden secret levels or end of level bosses, and I think that's a really nice touch, even though they were rock hard. 3 tanks that take 2 hits each. I thought that was quite unforgiving, really. But I'm going to go back and give it another go, because I thought it was a really good game, and really nice to have that in the collection as well. So, guys, if you're an NES collector, or you like collecting arcade ports to consoles, this is a really good version. But I'll be interested to see what other versions there are out there, what you think of. Maybe, I think there's a Sinclair Spectrum version. It might be even an Amiga version, I'm not quite sure. But really enjoyed that. Improvements to the game, I think, well, you know, actually what I forgot to mention is it is a 2-player game as well. So you can, you know, you can play with your mates. Each have got a control of a Jeep, and you can look out for your mate's back, you know, playing the game. Which I think would be a cool fun. But the only troubles with that is if someone's a little bit better at the game, you end up waiting for the other person because he's exploring the level, you know, and that can be a little bit annoying, can't it? You know, he's like, come on, because the screen doesn't scroll up until both of you are moving up at the same time, which can be a little bit annoying. What later games did is they panned out, didn't they? They panned out the view so you could see more of the level, so whoever's more experienced can still carry on a little bit faster. But obviously that technology wasn't around back then, but still a cool addition to have 2 players in the game. I think it would have been cool to have an end level boss on the arcade version, to be honest with you, and maybe had a little bit of a break midway. You know, if you've got so many hostages, you could get an extra bonus, a much bigger upgrade to your Jeep, maybe better tyres where you're a little bit quicker, or an extra man, an extra gunner on the back, so you've got double fire, would be cool. But overall, for its time, 1986, I think it's a brilliant game and well worth having in your collection. I'm not letting mine go. I'm hanging on to mine definitely. Anyway, that's it for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about the game and if you've played it. And if you have any stories of playing it back in the day, I'd love to know about it. Anyway, that's it for this week, guys. And I'll see you on the next one.